Confirmation bias. Assume that you want to start your own business. One day, you have a brilliant idea. You're so confident that this idea will definitely work. Then, you try to look for information online, ask for suggestions from experienced consultants, and reach a conclusion that you have the idea through rational process. It is not just a daydream, there are convincing data supporting it. But the reality might be you are finding evidence to confirm your opinions, which you have already believed. What you are doing is simply hear what you want to hear, see what you want to see. For example, how great your idea is and how successful you will be, and ignore all neutral and negative possibilities. In the end, it's nothing about the truth, the reality, but about your ego. This is confirmation bias. To avoid the bias, what you can do is to be super skeptical with your so-called rational opinions. Examine your evidence with cold, harsh light. Try to find evidence which disconfirm your rational opinions. See the pros and cons, both sides, thoroughly. Conviction bias. Story continues. After collecting supporting evidence of your business idea, you are so confident that your idea will bring you success, fortune, fame, or whatever you desire. You believe in it so strongly that you think it must be true, otherwise how you can feel it so strongly. Again, it's nothing about the truth, the reality, only about obsession of your own opinions. This is an example of self-complacent conviction. Convictions from outside are also very common in daily life. For example, we are prone to trust a salesman who shows great confidence in himself and his products. But for a shy salesman with a weak tone, we tend to think he's not that trustworthy and his products must have lower quality. We tend to think that if an idea is expressed or believed strongly by ourselves or others, then that must be true. This is conviction bias. To avoid this bias, we must focus on the idea itself instead of how strong the emotions are that people indulge onto the idea. Group bias. Let's think about why you are motivated to start a business. I mean, the main reason. For fame, money, and success? Or you want to utilize your talent and uniqueness to make contributions to the society? No matter which one you are, let's stop here for a moment and have a look at people around you. What are their opinions for success? Are they money-oriented or contributing-oriented? You may find out that if people around you, your family, friends, continually tell you how important money is, you might begin to internalize the idea and start your business which is promising for earning lots of money, and that becomes your goal of life. But what if the people around you talk more about how to discover individual potential to build a better world, their dreams, and their vision? You are prone to think about your own uniqueness, how you can make contributions to the world, and that becomes your goal of life. I know you might want to say that you make the decisions independently by yourself. We humans love to think that we are independent individuals who have completely control over our thinking and behaviors. Therefore, we tend to believe that if an idea comes to us, it's our own idea. At the same time, the feeling of isolation or too much difference from others is terrifying. No one understands us is not something fun. Therefore, we tend to behave or think not too far away from people around us. That means we are constantly influenced by them, so our ideas are not so independent as we thought, but we just hate to admit it. That is group bias. The effect of group bias is subtle but strong. We can't easily avoid it, but what you can do is to firstly be aware of its effect on you. Try to think for yourself, combined with your own situations. One suggestion from me personally is that we can also utilize the group bias. For example, in order to get influenced in a positive way, associate with people who may serve your long-term goal. Appearance bias. You are so excited to start now. Accountable team members is essential. The interviewee today behaves extremely confident. Her strong tone, powerful gestures, and convincing working experiences impress you. You think she is very enthusiastic and professional. The interviewee also begins to think that you are a vigorous entrepreneur who must be smart and farsighted. Therefore, both sides can't wait to build up the business together. But later on, you find out that she is not a self-motivated person, and her out-of-date working styles doesn't fit your innovative startup. And she also realizes that your blind confidence reflects that you are a stubborn, self-absorbed person. Because we think that people are easy to see through, and their characters and behaviors are highly predictable, we tend to make quick and simple judgment of person, sometimes based on even just the first impression they give on us. Most often, we just see their masks, not true character. Moreover, we are prone to imagine other corresponding qualities on a person based on their few qualities or professions which we have seen. For example, in the interviewee connect an entrepreneur directly with vigorous, smart, and farsighted. We usually give some quality labels based on one's profession. Those are typical for appearance bias. To overcome this bias, we must admit that people are complex, unpredictable, and not easy to read. Therefore, try not to give quick judgment on a person before you truly know them, especially your judgment is only based on the first few meets and your prejudice. Get to know the person as who they are. Do not end your own projections and assumptions. Those can help you not trapped into the appearance bias. Blame bias. Okay, make it more specific. Suppose your business idea is to open a cozy cafe, selling delicious coffee and cakes. You find a nice place and hire a few team members. Everything's ready. You can't wait to open it. But after a few months, you notice there are not as many customers as you expected. You begin to ask yourself, why? You have organized everything so perfectly and done a good job. Let me imagine, beside Corona for this year, you might start to complain in the following ways. The team members are not so motivated and hardworking. Many times I saw them chatting behind the cashier desk. Customers nowadays are hard to please and not loyal at all. They constantly search for something nice, cheap, good quality, clean environment, variations, and fancy styles. The competitors around are famous chain cafes. They offer cheaper products with similar quality like mine. It's nothing new that we humans love to blame on others. That's why you're hearing complaining from people all the time, or that might be your daily routines as well. Just kidding. Well, why that? Because it's very painful to look too closely into ourselves, to find the mistakes in our behavior. That makes us feel ourselves stupid, inferior, and not so perfect as we want to be. Blame on others can bring some relief to our ego, give excuses for the failure, and at the same time hold on to our good-looking image. Sure, sometimes we also pretend to reflect on what we did wrong, but with time, we tend to forget the mistakes and repeat exactly the same mistake, and then do mild recrimination with forgetfulness and so on. If you want to save yourself from the blame bias, please stop complaining. It brings nothing practical, simply wasting time. Wise people use the time to do deep introspection to find out the source of the problem and how to solve it. For a cafe, you may begin to reflect on how to improve your management and lead your team in the front, how to deliver better service and high-quality products, how to do a better marketing to attract more customers and to get to know your customers more and deeper, how to discover self-value of your cafe. I mean, the uniqueness which makes your cafe standing out from others. Superiority bias. Let's have a brief review of your business road. You want to start your own business? This idea is subtly influenced by the group of people around you or people on social media. But you do not feel it and therefore not recognize its effect on you. You carry on with this so-called your own idea and do some research on it. You find lots of positive evidence to support your opinions that this idea will definitely work. Due to your own obsessions and evidence you found, you believe in this idea extremely deep. You think you are destined for success. Then you choose the team members based on your simple judgment and imagination. You only see their masks wearing on the interview day, not true character. When the business is not going on so well, you begin to complain about your unprofessional team, hard-to-please customers, and strong competitors. Until here, you might want to interrupt and start to defend for yourself. I am not that bad. I'm more rational and better than that. Maybe many people are like that, but they're not as smart as me. We humans feel a tremendous pull to imagine ourselves more rational, decent, smarter, and ethical than others. Therefore, we can see others' faults and irrationalities easily and clearly, but not our own. What we can do when we face our inner superiority. Robert says that rationality and ethical qualities must be achieved through awareness and effort. Suggestions from me is to try to give more discipline to ourselves and more tolerance to others. That means scrutinizing ourselves deeply, observe carefully of our own faults and irrationalities, correct them in time, treat people as who they are, try to see their shining point with a humble heart. They may have something to teach us. So, to be ready to be surprised and to learn from them. Let's have a brief summary of the low-grade irrationality. Low-grade irrationality is due to our desire for pleasure and avoidance of pain. Their effects are subtle and strong. We do not really feel it, but we are influenced unconsciously. Therefore, we need to train ourselves hardly and give them lots of awareness and efforts. The next aspect to achieve rationality is to be aware of high-grade irrationality. Unlike the general exist mental biases, high-grade irrationality throws people into reactive state. The emotions come at certain moments when we are stimulated by external sources. At such moments, our thinking mind, reasoning power are all turned off. The emotions are out of control and have an explosive pitch. Our attention is captured completely by them. The whole person becomes extremely reactive. What usually happens inside of us is the emotion loop. We feel the strong and uncontrollable emotions when we are in reactive state. Then our attention is completely focused on the emotions, and naturally we think about them more. Then they become stronger and we feel them deeper. Then we become more reactive and emotional. Therefore, we tend to feel stronger emotions and be trapped in the loop. High-grade irrationality is the source of accurate problems, crises, conflicts, and disaster decisions. Even though the reactive states are quite visible compared with mental biases, but what you see is only the surface. What is really happening is not always obvious. Therefore, the first and the most important thing is to recognize the deeper reasons behind them.